about this feeling, baby, we're invincible.
Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Rebuilding Notts County. As always, if you're enjoying the save, drop a like on the video, that'd be tremendous. I thought we'd start today on the page of Marvin Suarez. This has taken a long time. We've had a lot of off-camera games, so just try to bear with me on that one. He wants a new contract at the moment, but he's still got 4 years left on his current deal, so it would be fair to say he's probably not going to get one just yet. However, because he had a release clause and he doesn't want to leave, which is good. We've had a lot of bids in January, but on each one it said, my client has no interest in talking to Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico, Dortmund. It's glorious. Dortmund kept bidding 49 million, even though we were having bids. The biggest bid we got from Barca was 120 million for Marvin Suarez. Still only valued at 45 million, hilariously. But look, this is one of the best goalkeepers I think I've ever had. Considering that he cost us a very, very small amount from Sheffield United, originally started at Dragon Force. What a player this guy has become for us. And long may it continue, frankly. I'm not selling this guy. He's phenomenal. 60 as Bruno is better than Gira. It's a brave call. It's a brave call indeed. Granted that shot that hit the post versus Barca, the stats class it as a shot on target. As we know, woodwork is classified as shot off target. Maybe keeper got fingertips to it. That could perhaps be the reason. But to me, if you hit the woodwork, it should still count as woodwork or on the actual stats, you know? But there you go. Just remember you said sometimes we have to go forward to go, have to go back to go forward, so not so bad. I agree. This season we may have to take a step back. We won't. I think we're still unlikely to win the league. And we may not win the Champions League. We may not even get to the semi-finals. But I feel like underneath, there's a lot of good stuff going on for us. And that's the main factor. Just a shame at this point, there are so few English lads in the team/squad. I mean, does it matter? Like, in the grand scheme of things, does it really matter that much? Because at the end of the day, we could try and concentrate on that. But we would be at a disadvantage to every single other club in the entire country. Also, English players cost a lot. Because the game's mechanics are still operating as if they are super valuable when they're in fact not anymore. So it causes all sorts of problems. Yeah, it just doesn't really matter to me. Right, games off camera, lots of them, then Inter, the first leg today. This is big, this is what we've been preparing for. And we made a good start away at Newcastle United in our first leg of the EFL Cup semi-final. Costel Trofim. We were slipped through by Mateus Cabral, and he smashed us home the winner, in fact, in the 49th minute, before Cabral took a corner. Jespersen won the header, and Cabral grabs himself 2 more assists for the season. He is really on it at the moment, and a 2-0 win away from home is exactly what we needed here. And to have Costel Trofim score even better. I decided to give him a rant on this to try to see who would prefer over him or Bonanno. But I am very glad I stuck with Costel Trofim for the next game as we went... Well, no, we didn't go to Arsenal. We hosted Arsenal and beat them 2-0. Costel Trofim scoring a brace against Arsenal in the Premier League. Now, remember, he scored against Arsenal, the winners, when we beat them in the Cup, when we were still in the Championship and on our route to the FA Cup final, I think it was. And for him to do it again here, he's just rolling back the years. He's only 24, but he's still rolling back the years. The first one was a bit fortunate when it was cleared into his path, but the second one, just a really nice finish. Dubois and Athman ran that midfield like crazy, and a good win against the relatively poor Arsenal these days. We then parlayed that into a 3-1 victory at home against Watford. This was scrappy as all hell, though. Literally very, very scrappy. They took the lead early on through Gamma with their first shot of the game. Early on, though, to be fair. And at half-time, we were a goal down. And what a turnaround it was. Cabral was played through, I think, by Assman? No, I can't even remember who. I think it might have just fallen into his path. And it ricocheted, in fact. And he was able to put it in the back of the net. Greg Campbell then scored a direct free kick before a Kamel Cholak own goal in the 94th minute wrapped up the win for us. Very, very fortunate to win this one the way that we did. I still think we were decent, but 3-1 is very harsh on Watford. But all good things do come to an end, and eventually they did away at Chelsea. They were just much better than us. Shaquille Levine put them in the head on 23 minutes. Sebastiano Esposito made it 2-0. We then got on back through Darren Lever, but then Sebastiano Esposito, he's unplayable. It's ridiculous how good this guy is. He wins every header. He can go past you every single time he gets the ball. He's crazy good, and I don't really know why, but he just is. Thankfully, though, we were able to bounce back with a 6-0 trashing, you guys will like this, over Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. I did think about stopping it and doing a live con for this, but I just felt like it wasn't worth it enough because of the fact that we've got so many games to come. I didn't expect us to win it 6-0. Cabral grabbed a pair, Bonanno grabbed a pair, Lever got a goal. I think he also got an assist in there. No, he didn't. And, of course, Lacazar Hubanov got 2 assists as well and a goal. Just goals and assists for days. Everybody was just chipping in with goals and assists to smash Forest 6-0. Is that the biggest victory that County have ever had over Forest in a derby? Because if it is, I'm proud of that. Just imagine how many goals Guerra would have got in this period. We then had our second leg of the EFL Cup against Newcastle. Surprisingly poor, actually. Ben Woodburn put them in front early on, and then we managed to get an equaliser later in the game through Mateus Cabral again, of course, to send us through to the next round. We did the right job, and I think we were the better side, but yeah, a bit of a scrappy one, but we got through in the final, where we will play, would you believe it, Norwich City. They beat Arsenal 3-2 on aggregate. It was 2-1, I think, at Carrow Road and then won all at the Emirates. Brilliant stuff for them, which means we've got a really good shot now at a Carabao Cup, which is exactly what I want. And speaking of Norwich, we then went and beat them 2-1 in the very next match. They scored their first shot of the game. It took them 49 minutes to get a shot, but when they did, it went in, and I was furious. Thankfully, though, we were almost immediately, 10 minutes later, back on level terms as Joran Beckart, coming back from injury after that poor kneecap damage, gave us the equaliser before Darren Lever, who'd set up his goal, got one for himself. He is actually on good form this year. Lever's already hit the same amount of Premier League goals as he did last year, and he's got more assists already, so he is actually having a much better year. It's just kind of gone under the radar a little bit, so that's pleasing, and a good win against Norwich. And lastly, we went and won 3-0 away at Palace. Guerra was back in the team. I think he was back in the team for the Norwich game too, but didn't play that well. Scored the penalty to get him a bit of confidence back, which is nice to see. We then added another through John Carlos, and then another through Mateus Cabral, because who else is going to be scoring for us at this point? Another man of the match award for Cabral. He really has stepped it up. Stepanek was nowhere to be seen in the Palace lineup. He has just signed a new deal, so I don't know how that's going for him. But Palace have been on great form, but to beat them 3-0 away was very surprising. And all of that still leaves us third in the Premier League. Despite all of that, we're still third. Tied on points with Manchester United. We're 7 points behind Liverpool. They have lost a game. They've dropped some points, so the gap is coming down, but they're still winning a lot of bloody matches. And they've only lost one game in 26 so far this season. So yeah, it's difficult, I've got to say. 7 points behind them with 12 games to go. It's still on the cards, potentially. And we are scoring a lot more goals now, which is good to see. Really, us three at the top, plus Chelsea, are the only ones really smashing goals in left, right, and centre. We've got like 10, 11 more than anyone else in the league at that point. But, I don't know. 56 points, though, is a good points tally at this stage in the season. If we can carry on performing, all is good, hopefully, for us. Guerra, still top scorer, though. 18. He's not scored. He's only scored 1 in that entire off-camera period due to injuries and just bad performances, unfortunately. So I think the chances of him getting 30 goals this year are a little bit unlikely unless he hits 12 for 12 for the rest of the year, which is a shame, but I still love the guy. I think he's still on 7 assists, so he's only on 25 contributions. And I don't see him getting 16 goal contributions in the next 12 matches either, so he might be taking a bit of a backseat on that one as well. Cardiff, as well. I said in the last episode, I think, that they'd beaten Southampton 6-4. They actually lost 6-4. So yeah, their one win was against Watford. That's the only win they've had all season. Still rejected the contract from China, as kind of expected, so he's still here, which is not a big deal, really. And Peppo has now joined Newcastle for £12.5 million from Monaco, so he's back in the Premier League now. And lastly, Liverpool spent £214 million signing Aizmendi from Barcelona. They've now, as if they weren't beefy enough, they've just gone and signed a striker for 214 million quid. I think it's either very, very close to or above what Chelsea paid for Mbappe. I don't think it's quite there, but it's bloody high. Liverpool drew their game away at Atletico in the first leg, 0-0. I think the other game was 0-0 between PSG and Napoli as well. So with us playing the first leg first, it's Simeone's managing Inter now. So let's just see what we got. Who's actually available? So I want to play Dubois, and I want to play, I'm still going to persist with Beckart. I think long term, he's the man. Acevedo, I think, is slightly injured, but Keskin should be able to start. Unfortunately, the guy I was looking at from Porto dislocated his shoulder and is going to be out for 3 months. So I chose to not make the signing because he would miss the rest of the season anyway, and it would cost us quite a lot. And the other problem we've got is that literally scouting is broken in this save. Now, I cannot, even if I set my scouts to do assignments, they just don't find any players. They literally bring me nothing in the reports. I've left one for like 3 months, not a single player found, even though it was a really basic scouting report. Like, look for players in the Premier League with virtually no kind of just show me anything decent. Nothing. So I have to manually scout every single player now that I actually want to look at, which means we're not going to get a lot from the scouts just finding guys. I'm going to have to basically scout them manually myself. It's ridiculous, but that's life. So thank goodness that we've got a good youth system going along with a lot of these youngsters coming through, and the fact that I'm scouting the under 18 squads of national teams, because that's the only way we're going to be able to sign players at the moment. And you might notice, hang on, Keskin, I re-registered him so that we could play him in these games because I figured it would be important, and I'm kind of glad I did at this point. So the bench is going to be Tirso Perrier, who's played not at all this year, in fact, Asman Trofin, Fernandez, Torgerson, and Bonanno. I mean, I don't know what to make of Inter, really. I don't know where they are. Well, we can have a look, I suppose, in a minute, can't we? But they've got a solid side, but they've even still got Skriniar. That's crazy. We just need to put down a good score. I think we're in good position to do that. I'm hoping Guerra can find his form, because as much as that penalty against Palace might well be what he needed, so that we can go to Italy and not have to worry quite so much about things. Because I feel like we're good enough to score. We're always good enough to score in away legs, minus that Barcelona game and also the Dortmund one. But nevertheless, generally speaking, we're very good at getting goals. Although it's been a pretty poor start from both teams, really. Guerra's ball in, and it's cleared away. We might try to go down the wide areas because they're playing a very, very defensive system here. Oh no, what are you doing? Uh-oh. Well, I mean, that has to be a goal for Inter. He's really screwed that up. Oh, God, paid us through. Go on, tackle. Oh, great save by Suarez. Inter have started very, very well here, and our defence looks all over the shop. Since Guerrero's return from injury, he has not looked like the same player. He got the penalty against Palace, but that is almost literally it. Oh, good save. Right, okay, we're looking a bit fresher now, but he just doesn't seem to be making the runs. He's not taking people on. He's just not really at it at the moment. We need him back and firing in order to make this get through. I think he is the main man. Oh, a good strike by Lever. Don't let them play their way out. Yep, no. We eventually come out with the ball. Jespersen, that's a nice play from him, taking a few people on. Cabral, oh my God, this is what I mean. All of our good... Oh, Lever's in. Can he get the shot away? And he scored. Darren Lever, 8th goal of the year for the lad in the Champions League. I think that's his first goal in the Champions League this year. That's sort of come out of nowhere a little bit, although the pressure did seem to do the trick. All kind of came from Jespersen, just taking a little risk. Bad from Cabral, and horrendous defensive clearance here from Renato Sanchez. Comes to Lever, and I actually was surprised he got the shot away. Gets inside, smashes it, 1-0 Notts County. That's the perfect time to score, really. He's a player who I questioned at times this year, but I actually think he's having an underrated season. Oh, Dubois could hit this. He's surely going to hit this. Great save. Really good save from the keeper. And we're not done yet. Ball in. Cleared. And, oh, go on, get to that Pinto. And here we go again. Jean Carlos, who's got Guerrero there. He's going to have to shoot. And he does. And a good save again from the keeper. Oh, we're making him work. This is a bit more like it. Guerrero, can he find the right pass though? And he can. Pinto! And Dubois! And, oh my God. The blocks are being thrown in, but we are getting a lot of shots. I mean, the key thing for me there is we're hitting the target an awful lot. 10 shots on target in the first half. We really have flipped this game. They've had the one shot on target, and it should have been a goal probably. We really should be more in front. We can't really afford to go... I mean, a 1-0 win is still a good result, because it means that, you know, we can go there and score goals, hopefully. But a 2-0 win would be very, very nice. That's what we really need. 2-0. Guerrero's ball, and Pinto! Surely that's offside. It bloody wasn't. What a chance again. Because we're looking on fire in terms of creativity here. Just not getting the goals. Ball in. Headed away. Uh-oh. Oh, don't let him run straight past you. This is pathetic. Oh, okay. I really demand, given how well we've played, 2-0. That's what I've come to expect from the lads, given their quality of performance today. And I think they've got it in them. Cabral, he needs to be better, though. He's not played well. Jean Carlos. Oh, can slip it through. Cabral! And Aldero with the save. Jean Carlos, right, that's it. You have a look for a pass. That's fine. Let Darren Lever run at the defenders. He likes doing this. Goes past one. Goes past two and smashes it a goal. Headed clear. Right, breakaway chance. Yeah, there we go. Jespersen's found it. And Lever can surely take this defender on. He's got to get inside him. And he's found Becker! It's in the bottom corner. Joran Becker with the finish. And Darren Lever has done it again. He is single-handedly practically dragging us through this tie at the moment. Like, we're playing well, don't get me wrong. But he is the one that's really doing incisive things. Holds the ball up brilliantly. Sure gets a bit fortunate, but lovely run from Becker as well. Slips it in the bottom corner. And it's 2-0 Notts County. Perfect. Round the side for Campbell. Cabral! And a good save, and Torgerson can pull it back for Lever. Whoa, could have even been 3. Campbell again to have a crack at it. Oh, it's in off the post. Greg Campbell, Notts County 3, Inter Milan 0. That's more like it. That is us hopefully going to be cruising through to the next round in the next episode. In off the post for Greg Campbell. Beautiful stuff. But as long as we get the clean sheet, if we grab a 4th goal, then it is officially done. What a ball. Oh, good save by Aldero. We sort of had to do it without him today. He's still there on the pitch, but he's just not quite got at the races just yet. Petrosevich. Oh, that's a good ball. Or is it? No, it very much is not. Cabral. Oh, good. Look at the space. That's a really poor ball, actually, from Cabral. Lever had made a brilliant run. And this looks like it's going to be it. Notts County 3, Inter 0. That is about as good a result as we could have hoped for on the night, to be honest. I will take that with open arms. I don't think Guerrero was particularly great up top. What was his actual overall rating in there? 7.1. That's just because we played well. Darren Lever basically dragged us through that game, and Greg Campbell with a lovely finish himself. But we've got Darren Lever to thank for that. Still, a lot of positives. Really, really good performance. So, next episode is a bit of a weird one, because obviously we've got the second leg against Inter. But I'm quite tempted to do it so that we'll do a double live com of Norwich and Inter, but we'll really focus on the Norwich game, because I wasn't even going to bother with... But yeah, we should still do the Inter one, because we could still go out. So yeah, we'll do Norwich and Inter with the double live com with some games off camera in between. A bit weird like that. So that'll be fun. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this video, and I really hope you have, drop a like on the video. We're looking very good at sailing through to the quarterfinals of the Champions League, which is a very, very good sign. We've only lost 1 game since that Everton match. We're doing a decent job, our usual after Christmas run. Chelsea game was a slight blip. So yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, drop a like. That'd be tremendous. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. That'd be great as well. And as always, hold your gun, capybara. Thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.